Hello learners, this is Habiba with Excel with me. If you like the video, please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. For best content of social sciences, economics, inspirational stories, facts, quotes and also NET, SET, RCET, that is Research Common Entrance Test or Teacher Eligibility Test, whatever you are preparing for, I am going to make excellent content in future also. Please do like, share, subscribe and comment below. Let's start today's class, that is UGC NET paper 2, approaches to counseling, that is unit 3, learner and learning process, under which guidance and counseling we were discussing. Already approaches to counseling we have started with humanistic. We understood humanistic counseling. What is humanistic counseling? That is totally importance will be given to the experiences of the person. They will let the support will be given to the person to guide him or herself. This is coined by Carl Rogers, that is actualization tendency, self-actualization. They should understand what are the strengths and weaknesses. We discussed about what is humanistic counseling, the definition, and what about the humanistic counselor we understood, and also we discussed the benefits of humanistic counseling. And now let's discuss the person-centered counseling. Before that, let me tell you about one term, that is person-centered therapy. A person-centered approach is also known as client-centered therapy. In this type of counseling, the focus is laid on the individual's self-worth and value, so that they can accept themselves and reconnect with themselves on all the realms of life. Few persons, they are not able to cope up with the situations which arise in their life, so they lack their self-confidence. What is the motive of this therapy? It is also counseling or therapy, anything we can call it as. Now let's understand. So they will help, these counselors will help the individuals to understand about themselves and provoke them to rethink whatever past experience is there, leaving behind and finding solutions for further situations. Now, what is person-centered counseling? Let's understand in detail. Person-centered counseling, as devised by psychologist Carl Rogers in the 1950s, is based on the assumption that clients should have an accepting, non-judgmental relationship with the counselor, allowing the client to freely express emotions and feelings. That's what we discussed in the previous class. Same thing happened there also, that is humanistic counseling, under which what should be the assumption? The clients always accept, the counselor always accept the client's situations. There should not be judgmental relationships. This person is like this only. So allowing the client to freely express whatever feelings and emotions are hidden inside the past, the present, and what they want to do in future also. This type of counseling is for those who want to address specific psychological habits or patterns of thinking. This type of counseling, for whom this will be beneficial? The persons who are having specific psychological habits or patterns of thinking. Now let's understand what the client thinks. That is, the client is perceived by the counselor as being the best authority of their own experience and therefore capable of achieving their own potential for growth and problem solution. So the client is perceived by the counselor that the best authority of their own experience. The clients are the best authority of their own experiences. So these counselors, what they will do? They will give the opportunity to understand the capabilities hidden inside. What are the potentialities hidden inside to grow up further and solve the problems. Person-centered counseling is based on the belief that a client will benefit the most from exploring their subjective experience rather than underlying issues or motive. So whatever experiences, subjective experiences they have, according to that, this counseling will be beneficial. So the person-centered counselor provides favorable conditions to allow the emergence of such potential through empathy, that is understanding the person's feelings, putting ourselves in the shoes of the others, that is empathy, understanding the situation, thinking what if that situation happens to me, how I will react, that kind of thinking should be there, thus enabling the client to come to terms with negative feelings and develop inner resources with the power and freedom to bring about change. Why these things should be there? So that whatever negative feelings are there should be vanished, and then developed whatever inner resources are there, that power, that freedom to bring change which is resisting because of the negative feelings. Now, who benefits from person-centered counseling? Let's understand. Person-centered counseling appeals to many people as it is client-led. That is giving the client control over what is discussed in the therapy session. That is totally client-centered. That's why many people get attracted to this person-centered therapy or counseling. Person-centered therapy can be very effective in treating addiction, anxiety, depression, eating disorders and personal disorders. Whoever are having all these things, these problems, effective solutions can be found by this person-centered counseling. Now, what are the key features of the person-centered approach? Let's understand. The core conditions should be empathy. That is the counselor trying to understand the client's point of view. Very, very important. If the counselor is not listening to the client, there is no point of discussing anything anymore. That means the counselor should have empathy, understand what the situation that client is in. The counselor putting himself or herself in the situation the client is facing. Then congruence, that is the counselor being a genuine person. Obviously the counselor should be a genuine person, that is should have some expertise. Expert only can give this person-centered counseling. Then unconditional positive regard, that is the counselor being non-judgmental. Continuously we were discussing the same only. The counselor should never be judgmental. This person is so having so much stress, that is so much angered person, this person will never listen to me. That kind of judgments, prejudice should not be there. Then person-centered therapy harness the client's natural self-healing process, which is very, very important. Otherwise, they will start depending on others for each and everything. If they don't have the ability to harness their own problems or a self-healing process, if they are not having, then given the right relationship with the therapist, clients can decide what they want to do with their lives. They are ultimately, the client will decide what they want to do in life, not the counselor. Counselor just guides and helps, supports the client. To this end, person-centered therapy is a personal growth model, also known as non-directive therapy. Directive means directing, that is counselor is giving direction to the person. This is non-directive, supporting and letting the person understand about him or herself. The client is not taught the model of therapy or asked to undertake homework. Only they will guide here. Now let's conclude this topic. The person-centered approach to counseling belongs to the humanistic school of therapy, obviously, and was devised by Carl Rogers, an American psychologist. In the 1950s, Rogers proposed a form of therapy that focused on the client's experience of themselves, as opposed to the counselor being an expert and telling them what to do and what was wrong with them. So, apart from not just the counselor will guide everything or direct, this is non-directive. Person-centered is non-directive. Just support will be given, and the capabilities of the client will come out through the discussion and counseling session. The therapy relies on the quality of the relationship between the counselor and the client. This is sometimes called a way of being with the counselor demonstrating what is known as the core conditions which we discussed, which form the basis of the relationship. Carl Rogers believed that all individuals have the power to live to their own organismic valuing process. That is natural. Organic means natural, not artificial or learned by somebody. So Carl Rogers believes that each individual have the power to live to their own, that is living on our conditions, not on others' conditions. This basically means trusting your own judgment and living your life in line with your own values rather than with the values of others. We just can take the inspiration and motivation from others, but blindly we cannot become such persons which we like or we follow. We should have our own identity and we should depend on ourselves, self-dependence. Through this person-centered counseling, perfectly the client will understand the capabilities hidden inside to resolve the problems and will take the decisions on their own. So we come to the end of this session. If you like the video, please do like, share and comment below. Subscribe also. Thanks for your attention and time. Please do subscribe so that I can get motivation to do further best videos with the best content. Happy learning.